Hey guys, sorry we missed you today. Here's a quick little recap of what we did in class. The first thing you need to know about is we did have a small breakout room discussion in small groups about the story Priscilla and the Wimps. Here's what you really need to see from that. These were our discussion questions. Now, do yourself a favor, pause this video and read through each of the questions. Now, give yourself another maybe 30 seconds to answer them in your head. Think about them. Don't just read them. Think about them. For those of you who paused, good on you. That's going to help you. If you didn't, you might want to go back and do that. Moving on to the next thing though. We did a little recap of themes and critical moments. And if you remember, if you think about it, those themes come through in a story during the moments of the highest action or the strongest tension. And something to kind of keep consider. This isn't just for stories we read in class. This is for books you read on your own. This is for shows that you stream on Netflix. This is for movies you see in the theaters. At the highest moments of action and the strongest moments of tension, that's when theme will come through the clearest. So let's talk about that. Consider our story Priscilla and the Wimps. And if we think about some of those moments of tension or high action, we can think about, when Monk's buddy slammed Melvin into the locker. We can think about when Priscilla chopped the cobra's arm and loosened the grip on Melvin. Or we can think about when Priscilla tells off the cobra. Or when Monk threatens Melvin. Or best yet, of course, when Priscilla shoves Monk into her locker. And in each of those moments, they're all high moments of action or tension, and that's actually when we can see theme come through the strongest. We see bullying come through when Melvin's head is slammed into a locker. We see courage come through when Priscilla chops the cobra's arm. We see loyalty, power, and karma come through in the last three moments. And if you notice here, those themes are pretty apparent during those moments. So look for those moments of high action or strong tension. Now we also did start talking about statement of theme. For statement of theme, what you need to know is readers look at specific moments in the text and they think about, okay, so what does this moment try to teach me about the theme in our world? A statement of theme is just that. It's an observation about the theme. It's no longer enough just to identify a theme and then maybe find a part in the story that supports it. Now we need to say something about what is the story trying to teach us about that theme, and that's statement of theme. With a statement of theme, it's what the story tells us about the theme. And it's not specific to any character or moment in the story. In fact, it's generalized. It should be able to be universally applied to any story, in any situation, or even in our world and our life. And important to remember, this also is not advice. So you don't want to use the word you, the pronoun you, to address the reader. So this is the big leap today. So how do I craft a moment of theme? Let me show you. When crafting a moment of theme, there's 4 steps. The first step is you need to think about, okay, so what is the theme? And that's where we can use our big long list of universal themes. You remember this one. But you can already do that. You can already find a theme. So let's go on to step 2. Step 2 is where you actually have to go ahead and find specific textual evidence that supports your claim. So this could either be a direct quote from the text. Maybe this is where in the text you can actually copy paste the 1 to 2 sentences in the story that supports this theme. Or if you don't remember, if it's too far to go back, you can just go ahead and use this sentence starter. The moment when, and fill in the rest of that sentence with this specific moment from the story. But again, you know this. That's the stuff you know. Here comes the stretch point, so please watch me very closely with what I do here, okay? For a statement of theme, now I need to go ahead and step 3 ask, okay, so what does this moment say about this theme in general? And you're going to see some colors pop up. Check this out. In the title of the story, comma, theme, a verb, and then something about that theme. You need all 4 parts in the colors. Let me break it down, okay? You need your green in the title of the story. You need your yellow. You need to actually say the theme itself. Then pick a verb. Start with one of these 6. Does, is, or shows, or means, or isn't, or doesn't. It could be another verb, but if you want to start with some that are right here for you, use one of these. And then finish that sentence. Tell us an observation about that theme using that verb, one of these, as a setup. Now remember, you need all four parts, right? You need the green, the title of your story, that's the green. You need the yellow, that's your actual theme. You need a blue, you need a verb of some kind to set up what you want to say, and then you need the pink, that's your actual observation about the theme, okay? In step 4, you want to go ahead and check your work. So this is where you check. Did I avoid using any characters' names, or did I avoid using any specific moments in the story? If your statement of theme does mention specific character names, or if it does mention specific elements in the story, you got to go back, do it again. Check. Did you avoid giving advice or directly addressing the reader with the pronoun you? If you're trying to tell somebody how to live their life with advice, or if you're trying to use the pronoun you to talk directly to the reader, you got to go back and do this again. Can't do that. And did you try to see if this fits into another story or maybe into your life? If you can take this theme, the statement of theme, as it is right now, and if it could be applied to another story you read, or a show you watched, or a movie you saw, or something that happened to you in your life, if you can just apply it, you got it. It's general. So watch me do this work here, right? This is where I'm thinking, step 1, what's the theme? Well, I'm going to go for a bad one. You got to do a better than me. I'm just going to go for a theme of bullying. Why not? That's step 1. Step 2, I've got to find that specific moment in the story that supports the theme. And remember, I can either do this with a quote, 1 or 2 sentences from the story, or I can go ahead and I can do this with a sentence starter of the time when and fill it in. And just for you guys, I'll show you what both look like. If I used a quote from the story, I could say, quote, he reaches down and grabs little Melvin by the neck and slams his head against a locker door. Or if I didn't remember that, I could just go ahead and say, the time when Monk's buddy slammed Melvin's head against a locker door. So, at this point, step 1 and step 2, done. Cake. Let's take a look at step 3. In step 3, I want to think about, okay, so what does this moment in the story trying to tell me about the theme in general? And I'll actually use my trick again. I'll use the green, the yellow, one of the blues, and the pink. And I'll show you what I do. I've got in Priscilla and the Wimps, that's my green. Bullying, that's my yellow, that's my theme. And I chose the verb is. You could choose anyone, but I chose is. I chose the blue is, and I had to finish this with an observation about the theme is when the powerful exert unnecessary force on the powerless. See how I have all those parts? I have the green, the yellow, the blue, and the pink there, not just the pink. I need all 4 parts of there. At this point, it looks pretty good. But I have to check my work. Just like in math, I got to make sure I got this right. So let's do a check. Step 4, check. Did I avoid using any specific character names or moments from the text? Did I avoid using the pronoun you? And did I avoid giving advice? Well, let me see. In Priscilla and the Wimps, bullying is when the powerful exert unnecessary force on the powerless. I don't see any specific moments from the story or character names there. That check works. Let's try the next one. In Priscilla and the Wimps, bullying is when the powerful exert unnecessary force on the powerless. I don't see the pronoun you in there anywhere. 2 for 2. Let's try the last check. In Priscilla and the Wimps, bullying is when the powerful exert unnecessary force on the powerless. Yeah, I'm not giving anybody advice on how to live their life. I'm just saying what bullying looks like at this point in time. So, it looks to me like all of my checks worked out. This is where I want you to give this work a try. So we got to go to Schoology. In our Schoology page, scroll down to week 2, click on day 1, and head down a bit. Go past these, all the way to here, this Priscilla statement of theme check. This is what I need you to do. Show me what you can do with statement of theme right here. After you complete that, quick word about a theme assessment we have coming up. We've got a theme assessment coming up, so let's go ahead and take a look at that study guide, shall we? In Schoology, week 2, day 1, scroll down past our slides, past the story, past the Priscilla and the Wimps theme check. And if you take a look here that says this thing that says click here to make your own copy of our study guide, yeah, click that. If it asks you want to make a copy, click make a copy. Here's your theme assessment study guide. Now, I'm not one of those teachers who tells you this, some things are going to be on the study guide and then you get the test and it's completely different things. That's not me. What you see is what you get. So let me show you. We're going to give you a short story. We want to know 2 possible themes from the story. We want to know some evidence that supports your first theme, some evidence that supports your second theme. We want you to be able to explain how your evidence meets how it connects back to your theme. And if you're not sure about that, we're going to cover that next class. But you can do that last step. Use your statement of theme skills to go ahead and give us a statement of theme. So that right there is going to be 100-point summative grade, right there. Now there is going to be a formative part on the back where I just want you to write a claim paragraph, but don't worry about that now. And in fact, let's just move to our homework check, okay? 2 things. Number 1, your statement of theme check in Schoology, which is just this Google form right here. That's your first thing. The second thing, just look over your theme assessment study guide. We were just looking at that. This guy. Maybe even practice with adding some things about Priscilla and the Wimps if you really want. But that's plenty for now. We've gone over enough. If you have questions you're not sure, just shoot me an email. I'm happy to help you. You got this. Let's keep on going.